Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, if you thought that I wasn't going to do anything related to Halloween, you thought wrong. Okay, here we are. We are doing a Halloween, no. A makeup that gives me spooky vibes video, because I'm not the type of person to do like really like character Halloween makeup or like special effects type of thing. Like, I appreciate it on other people, but I just feel like with my level of talent and I don't know, I just would rather do makeup that's like this, that's like grungy, kind of like spooky vibes, a little bit like out there, but not necessarily like doing super intense Halloween makeup. That's just not me. But I wish I could, and I love it when other people do it. But it was like, I've been loving using my makeup that has more like spooky Halloween-y vibes. And I thought that I would do this also rather than doing like a fall makeup recommendation video, because I've done my fall palettes and I thought that like I wanted to do something a little bit different. So here we are. And I mean, you guys, I'm sure know I love Halloween so much. I love spooky season and we're right in the middle of it. So this is the makeup that's giving it to me. So let's start off right out the gate, eyeshadow palettes. Unfortunately, a lot that I have here are limited edition, but if you have these, pull them out. And we're just like talking about makeup at the end of the day, and this is just the makeup in my collection that's giving me spooky vibes, okay? Now, number one, of course, Lunar Beauty Moonspell. I love this so much. Even just like looking at it gives you spooky vibes. I feel it gives me spooky vibes. I always have it usually like in the back on my little shelf here. I actually feel like this doesn't really give me fall vibes. It definitely gives me specifically Halloween, which is like in fall, but this is like more a Halloween color story to me with like the greens and the purples. And so it's more specific Halloween, and it's just with the packaging and the everything. I mean, it's difficult, I think, to get more Halloween than this. So obviously we have this. Also, unfortunately, this was limited edition, but there is a Lunar Beauty Moonspell 2 that came out that I actually did buy, which is also, I guess, another spooky vibes palette, more on the purple side of spooky, but it has similar packaging and stuff. I just don't have it with me right now. Also, another one that had a limited run. Unfortunately, I only have one of them, but the Melt and Beetlejuice collection that came out, I think, Black Friday or something last year. This is the Waiting Room palette. So this is the red and gray one. I mean, red and gray, you really can't get. Also more of like a Halloween-esque color story, and Beetlejuice, obviously, spooky vibes. It even has this little like guard with the, oh, you can't see that, but it has like the Sod Woman, I think is her name, as like a protector of the shadows, and I keep it just because I couldn't throw it out. Unfortunately, I didn't get the other palette. It was just gone before I could get my hands on it, but this is the one that I love the color story of most, and it just makes me so happy to use and look at. Let's just keep on with the Melt palettes. I'm going to briefly talk about this, but we're not going to spend too long. We have the Amore Eternal Muerte palette. I mean, I love the reds and the greens and the blues. It gives me spooky vibes with the color story. I think you can do lots of like very Halloween-y spooky looks with this, but everyone knows that it's no longer available. So that's all I'm going to say on it. Also, I feel like the Melt Smoke Sessions palette kind of gives you like, it's definitely fall. I think I did include this in my fall video, but there's something about the like green tones in here and like the grungy golds like the mix of them together, I feel like is kind of like Halloween-y. I don't know, but I just feel like this encompasses the entire like season, the entire time, and it's still available. I really have enjoyed using this palette. I haven't used it extensively. I haven't used like every shade, but I do like it. Another palette that's a limited edition, and not necessarily the entire palette, but I feel like Kaleidos Club Nebula with Angelica Nyquist. More the like reds, like this kind of area of the palette, like this row with like these deeper tones here. You can get so many Halloween-esque looks. Using all of those tones together would be like beautifully spooky season vibes, you know? And I feel like a lot of people got their hands on this, but also the Alien Cosmetics collaboration palette that they just came out with. I'll put a picture here. I posted it on my stories, and one of my friends on Instagram messaged me and said, oh, this looks like, this gives me like Club Nebula vibes. And truly, it really has a lot of similar shades, and I think that if you miss out on Club Nebula and you like really wanted to get a color story that was similar, that has very similar shades, and I'm pretty sure it's still available. I know Alien Cosmetics will actually, they're changing their name, but whatever. Alien Cosmetics currently can be a little bit more difficult. Like I think they go out of stock quite frequently, but it's still, as far as I understand right now, still available, and it's another option. That is another palette that gives me spooky vibes. Honestly, everything from Alien Cosmetics gives me spooky vibes, but that palette in particular especially. And it's themed spookily as well. I think it like came out recently, relatively recently, September, like approaching spooky season. So yes, and let's just get all the rest of the limited edition palettes out of the way. Obviously, Beauty Bay Book of Magic, the purples and the blues and the greens, and the theme, very spooky, right? But they did come out with the Age of Opulence palette recently that has a pretty similar color story to Book of Magic. And if you didn't end up picking up Book of Magic and you were like desperately so sad about it, I think based on swatch comparisons that I've seen, it has a very similar color story. I really do want to get it, but I might wait till November and see if it's still in stock, because I'm just trying to take a little break in October on the purchasing front. This palette is still available, okay? The Sydney Grace and Temtalia Quintessence palette. I think with these blues and greens, you have this red and then all of these cool tones. Perfect, spooky, witchy palette. I think it's so great. Like such a perfect, like spooky Halloween-y palette. It gives me very witchy vibes, and I like especially the gray tones paired with this red. Like yes, please. I think it's such a beautiful color story, and it's still available, so that's good. I mean, it's more just like shopping your stash for things that give you, you know, Halloween inspiration or Halloween vibes. So I'm not trying to be like, oh, these palettes are what you need to buy to embrace Halloween. No, it's just like this is what me shopping my stash looks like for Halloween-esque palettes. Another one, I don't even know if it's still available, but the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Dark Magic palette from the Vault collection. I mean, it's called Dark Magic. It has these deeper blues and greens with some cool toned shades as well, like cool tone browns. I really like this color story. It's definitely very Halloween-y to me, and like spooky fall. And another one that if you may have or forgotten about, could be good. Could be good to use this time of year. So those are like the main palettes that in my collection give me the most Halloween vibes. and that make me happy to use this time of year. I mean, they make me happy to use any time of year, but especially now. Okay, so cheek products is one that I was like, I really don't even know where to go with this, because how do you make cheek products Halloween? But this is kind of where my mind goes. So for blush, I feel like I think of like almost, oops, let me just pull my hair forward so it doesn't expose my pink sports bra. But I feel like kind of cooler toned, like ashy cheeks that almost make you look a little bit sick is kind of the way that my mind went with that. Unfortunately, I don't have recommendations that are going to be, or not recommendations, but I don't have shades that are going to be applicable to like a wide variety of skin tones, but I think the idea is universal. This is what I'm wearing today. This is old, perhaps still available, couldn't tell ya. This is the MAC Blush in Harmony. It definitely swatches kind of warm. It's like kind of like a lighter rosy shade, but it definitely has like a brownie like ness to it that I feel like when I put on my cheeks it looks a little bit like maybe doesn't necessarily give life to my face, and that's kind of like where my mind went with this. And I don't know, I like using it from time to time, and sometimes I put it on, I'm like, I look a little bit dead, which is kind of the opposite effect that I feel like blush is supposed to have, but in the spirit of the video. And then this is a blush that I actually don't love, but this is Tarte Exposed. And in a similar way, it's like a mauvey shade. I know a lot of people really love these blushes. I find them to be a little bit, especially this shade, a little bit underwhelming. But it's like a very like, yeah, you can barely even see it, but kind of like a mauvey, like cooler toned blush that is, I feel like goes well with like gray looks or anything that's like cooler toned vibes. I'm gonna keep saying vibes, and I don't know, I guess we're gonna have to deal with it together. Red blush is also something that I feel like is Halloween-y. So this is also no longer available, but this is, I'm just gonna shout it out because I love this product so much. This is the Colored Rain Highlight and Blush Duo in the shade Prove My Loyalty. This is such a bright red blush, and then this highlight is so pretty. And this is another thing, like this highlight is basically similar to another product that I have in this recommendation video, Fenty Beauty Diamond Balm, which is what I'm wearing today, in the sense that it's like very sheer and just sparkly, and it feels like goes with everything that you could do, and it doesn't have like a ton of color to it, so it's not adding like warmth or anything. It's just like looking glassy and wet, and adds maybe a little bit of glam to a Halloween look, but it's not like you're using like a champagne highlighter, you know? Love it. Love it, love it. So also Fenty Beauty Diamond Balm will gives basically the exact same effect as that highlighter, and I think there are other products perhaps that are similar to Fenty Beauty Diamond Balm. Anything that's like sheer and sparkly is kind of what I'm going for. And then also Likely Makeup Clown Blush Palette has this red in here. I also really love the shade Carousel, which is this like purpley pink, similar, like not a super warm shade. And this is still available, so if you wanted to add a red blush into your collection and also play with like other more fall toned like orangey yellow blushes, I think that this is a great option, and it's not super expensive either. Maybe another highlight that's more just like the whimsical vibes of Halloween is the Kaleidos Space Age Prophecy highlighter. I mean, it's warm toned, but it just has like so many shifts and has like green and orange to it. So it's just kind of like very fun fall Halloween, you know, like the pumpkin with the orange. Like you know, kind of like the orangey green typical Halloween colors. It's kind of like these colors in a highlighter. So it feels appropriate to talk about this in a Halloween makeup video or a spooky makeup video. Now, lip products. So I feel like when I think about like spooky season lips, my mind goes to three main categories, being like purple, like dark purple lips similar to what I have on today, or just like purple dusty tones in general, kind of like cool tones, cool tone browns and like grays, and then reds. Reds I associate with like witches, kind of like glam witches. I don't know why, but that's where my mind goes. So like reds and burgundies kind of deal. So these are what I've pulled that give me that type of inspiration. So let's go into purples because that's kind of where my mind went immediately. This is MAC Cyber. It's a satin lipstick, and am I gonna be able to swatch this? Yeah. So this is what I'm wearing in the middle part of my eyes today, and it's definitely a cooler toned purple. It is a satin. It's quite dark. Please excuse that truck. But it's an OG lipstick. It has like kind of the perfect tone where it's like a pretty cool toned purple. So it gives me like perfect purple, Halloween purple vibes. It's like the perfect Halloween purple shade, and maybe you have it and you could pull it out for a spooky time, a spooky look. Oh my god, editing this video is going to be horrible. I also have the Sephora cream lip stain in the shade 15. I've talked about this, feels like quite a bit recently, but it's a really dark purple that has like a metallicness to it, so maybe not the most flattering, but it's another like cool toned dark purple that feels very Halloween to me. Again, not saying go out and buy it, but it's one that I think of when I think of Halloween. And then this is like a grade purple. This is the Maybelline Super Stay Matte Ink in the shade Huntress. My friend actually gave this to me and I absolutely love it. So yeah, it's like a purple that has a lot of gray to it. It looks very gray on the lips actually. I mean, this formula is kind of ideal for this really dark vampy shade because it lasts through literally anything, and I just absolutely adore this color and it feels perfect for this time of year. So now for like the cooler toned brown. So this is kind of more on the tame side and I just absolutely love this color. This is the Annabelle Big Show Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Avant-Garde. It's a dusty purple. Almost has like a bit of rose to it, but it just gives like cool toned dusty purple vibes that's definitely a little bit more wearable as opposed to like all of these shades up top. Unfortunately, these are only available in Canada, but I would highly recommend this formula in general, and this is one of my favorite shades, so I would definitely recommend checking these out. Very comfortable. They don't dry down super matte. If you don't like really drying liquid lipsticks, that's for you. I also, not my favorite liquid lipstick formula, but one of my favorite colors is the NYX Lingerie Lip in the shade Honeymoon. It's a brown, cool tone brown with, again, almost like a purpley undertone to it. It's fine, it's okay. It wouldn't be like my top choice for like general liquid lipstick formula, but this is such a beautiful shade. Again, that feels perfect for this time of year, but it's a little bit more wearable, so I love that. I don't even know what I'm doing with my swatches, so ignore me. One, again, that's a little bit more of a wearable option. It's kind of a neutral brown. This is the KVD Vegan Beauty Everlasting Liquid Lipstick in the shade Bow and Arrow. This has been around what feels like forever, but I don't know. I really love this shade. Again, it's a brown that's not like super cool toned. If like really cool toned lips intimidate you, it's almost more of a neutral. It's definitely not a very warm brown, and they're not my favorite formula of liquid lipstick is these Kat Von D ones, but I do really love the shades they offer. Honestly, I feel like almost all of the shades from KVD, Vegan Beauty's brand, is very spooky season appropriate, but this is like, these are kind of my more wearable options that give me spooky vibes and go with spooky looks. Another general kind of recommendation is gray lips. I love gray lips. I think they look so cool. This one that I use a lot is the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Chalk and Roll. This was limited edition, so I guess this is more of a general recommendation, but I really love gray lips, and it's definitely something to think about. If you want to have like a statement lip that's not a black, you know, maybe that's not like a super dark purple. I think it's just such an interesting color, and I feel like gray lips are really underrated personally. Maybe some more traditional recommendations for like burgundies, because I feel like burgundies, reds kind of like are also spooky, depending on which route you go. So my favorite burgundy like traditional lipstick is the Fenty Beauty Mademoiselle Plush Matte Lipstick. I don't know why I can't say that. In the shade Griselda. It even sounds like a witch's name. It's such a beautiful, smooth lipstick formula. Matte, comfortable to wear, and it's like the perfect spooky burgundy shade. Like, look at that. I can envision a witch wearing this for sure. So pretty, so comfortable. Like, it's such a beautiful, beautiful formula. And then also, this is another OG. I don't know if this is available, but this is Revlon Lipstick in Black Cherry. A very similar shade, actually. It's a little bit shinier. Again, this was like really popular back in the day, so maybe this is something that more people have just like sitting in the back of their drawers like I do. And it's, again, like a very like blackened cherry, like burgundy shade. So pull out your old Revlon Black Cherry if you have it. And then for reds, I feel like this is like the best, truest red in my collection. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Liquid Lip Color in the shade Firestarter. I feel like neutral reds, I mean, compared to all of these cool toned, it maybe looks a little bit more warm tone, but in comparison to all my other reds, this is definitely very neutral. I feel like warm orangey reds maybe give me like more traditional fall vibes. Blue reds remind me of Christmas. Neutral reds, I feel like it's like Disney, like witch, you know, like purple eyeshadow with a red lipstick. That's kind of what I'm thinking of. So yeah, I also have two last things to just throw in there here that are kind of more random. If you want to have a neutral lip time, a neutral lip moment, the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade 506 Endless Cacao is like, in general, my favorite lip liner, but it's like the perfect cool toned lip liner. It's like not quite a gray, it's a cool tone brown. First of all, it provides perfect, like a true, shadow to your lip. Without necessarily even looking like you have a lip liner if you... Oh, frig. My camera's gonna run out of battery. Okay, I replaced my battery. I am now back. I realized that I had my little lamp on, or my light mirror. Actually, it probably doesn't make that much of a difference. Anyway, whatever. I'm back to just finish up this video. I was talking about the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencil in the shade 506 Endless Cacao. Basically, it's just a beautiful cool toned lip liner if you want to go for some neutral or cool tone lips. Highly recommend this one. I mean, I'd recommend this to everyone all the time, but especially now, if we're gonna do some cool tone lips, this is it for me. And then also, I mean, red waterline. Feels so Halloween, it's like not even funny. This is the ColourPop Creme Gel Liner in the shade Venus. Now, I don't really love ColourPop. I don't really buy from them anymore, but it is an affordable red liner that is like technically an eyeliner, so it is like safe to use around the eyes and it's affordable. I already said that. It's essentially if you don't like feel like red eyeliner in your waterline is something that you're going to use a lot, if you just want to have an affordable liner to use once in a while, this is a good option because this is one of the good ColourPop liners, and I'm pretty sure they still have that available. But honestly, I mean, you could probably use like a red lip liner if you're comfortable with that in your waterline and like get the same effect. But I feel like a red waterline is so fun and so punchy and like just instantly makes your look like spooky. I really, really love it. Okay, so this is the end of my spooky makeup video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I had a ton of fun like thinking of them and thinking of like what spooky makeup means to me. Not even necessarily like Halloween makeup as in like costume makeup, but just like makeup that makes me think of the Halloween season, of spooky things, and I think this is super fun. Let me know down below what makeup or palettes or whatever makes you feel like you're living your best Halloween life. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!